we're going to talk about Tylor Megill. Of all of the starting pitching depth, no one has been more impressive so far than Tylor Megill. After starting the spring opener and pitching in long relief, Megill has gone 5 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 0 walks, 7 strikeouts through 19 batters faced. Megill's fastball has sat at 94 to 95 and topped 97 miles an hour, while featuring his new splitter and as well as his reinvented hard slider back in the low 90s. Although it's an encouraging small sample, Megill really struggled to sustain consistent results in identity, posting a 4.70 earned run average, a 4.96 fielding independent pitching, striking out 18.5% of batters across a career-high 126.1 innings pitched and 25 starts. In terms of workload and max effort, Megill stated that he worked on tweaking his mechanics to try and make sure to sustain his velocity in game. In regards to his new splitter and adding it to his official arsenal, Megill explained that he got a lot of reps with it. It's working well. It's good to get feedback from hitters and swinging reactions, and I'm excited to continue to throw it in live games. Megill will be entering a 28-year-old season, hoping to continue his promising play to earn a prominent spot in the Mets opening day rotation come late March.
I've always been really intrigued by Tylor Megill. I used to be a really big fan of him, and I'm still a fan of him, and he's giving me more reason to believe in him as of late. I'm really happy that he is throwing a harder slider again, because that pitch and his fastball last year, they just would not tunnel. He would get no chases with that arsenal, and especially with his new, if he has his new splitter with his new kind of gyro slider, I think from an arsenal standpoint, Megill is in a really good spot. It's also about staying healthy, and he has the potential to be an electric starting pitcher. He always has, but it's always felt like a roller coaster with him, from the height of his release point to the shape of his fastball, to all the different kinds of sliders he wants to throw, whether he's going to start or be in the bullpen. It's just been all over the place, but I'm really happy to hear about his new mechanics. And I do think there's for sure a way he could be a huge part of our rotation this year. I'm not going to get overly optimistic because he has looked this good before in the beginning of 2022. Then
he has. That's the thing, yeah.
And then he got hurt and he didn't come back the same. So we have to temper our expectations a little bit, I feel like. But he has the potential to be a valuable arm in our rotation. And I'm really interested to see how he plays this season.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we just, touched on it a little bit earlier, but the adjustments that were made to Tylor Megill I don't know if it was just to keep him healthy or just keep him on the mound getting a bigger sample size than he was getting. The adjustments, they were so bad that it made you think, okay, I'm okay with having this guy in danger of maybe possibly shredding his arm on the mound, because that's how bad it got for Tylor Megill, where this guy was throwing 93 miles an hour to the top of the zone. Fastball was literally just, we called him Big Drop. Like, that's literally how bad it got, so to a point where Big Drip became Big Drop. Like, that's how bad the whole situation got with Tylor Megill. And then obviously the secondary stuff was just not there, and he just did not have anything to kind of combine it. It looks like this new slider, it looks a little bit tighter. There's not as much movement, but there's a little bit more spin on it. It's obviously a little bit harder, of course, as compared to kind of a little bit very similar to like that hard slider he had at the beginning of 2022. And it's a small sample, of course, but let's not forget that opening day start in 2022, that was the best we've ever seen Tylor Megill, and he has not really come anywhere close to that in his career as of recent. So I think this is very encouraging. Obviously, we need to see more. Now, of course, this episode is going to come out after he faces the Yankees on Tuesday, so maybe everything we're saying completely ages like milk. And that's the kind of the feeling you get with Tylor Megill, because he's just kind of had tough consistency. But if he does pitch again and dominates the Yankees, makes Juan Soto look like a complete loser, then we can just say we knew all along and the guy's a future ace. I don't know. You can go from different scenarios. Obviously, with me, I mean, I've always been a fan of Tylor Megill. I always thought that, the upside was there. Someone just coming off of like an 8th round pick, like he was, a diamond in the rough, a 2-pitch reliever, kind of refined himself during the pandemic. And, there was definitely some upside there. but obviously we just need to see him as a more refined pitcher overall and kind of bring in a little bit of balance from the velocity or the pitch shape, or we need to see some consistency, and he can be a successful pitcher. He could be a quality major league pitcher and maybe something even better than that. But of course, it's still about working that back up, of course. But I think that right now, you look at his arsenal, it's the best. It looks as sharp. But again, we've been here before, so I don't know if it's fully legit yet. It is a Tylor Megill we know that he can be. And that's what I think that is very encouraging from what we have seen so far. We did not get, I don't think, any StatCast data from his second appearance. Who did he come in relief?
Came in relief for Quintana.
He came in relief for Quintana, and I don't think we had any StatCast for that whatsoever. So we can't really tell, but it looked like StatCast did identify one of his pitches in his debut as a cutter, which we have talked about him having for so goddamn long. It was like in the low 90s or something. I don't know if that was just kind of just like a little bit of a softer fastball or something. But if he does have a cutter, and if he did throw a cutter in that StatCastless game in that second appearance, that's pretty encouraging as well, as to where maybe he could maybe throw two different sliders and kind of like have a little bit more separation between that fastball and slider, and hopefully like build up a more complete arsenal as to compared to kind of just overthrowing a fastball that he has no command of.
If he can throw two different sliders and have a cutter in there, it just opens the door to so many more different tunnels, possibilities, and ways to attack the hitter. The more pitches you have, the better that is, in my opinion. So I really hope that, his work in the offseason pays off and he's able to stay healthy, and also that he's able to command his pitches enough to really show the kind of pitcher that we think he can be.